Some Jersey music for Robert Auth, Assemblyman Robert Auth. And he is New Jersey Assemblyman representing the 39th District. That would be Debbie Duhame's district. Assemblyman, welcome back to the show, sir. Great to have you with us.
Oh, good morning to the crew. Good morning to you, Joe. Thank you for having me.
Yes, are you running for president, Robert Auth? You, everybody else in Jersey?
I feel like I could. You know, you have me squeezed in between two icons. You have Judge Knapp in front of me and Michael Michael Good on the other end of it. It's great. You know, thank you for that.
You know what? And Assemblyman, to that regard, in New Jersey, tell us exactly. What is, I have to ask you, because we talked to John Bramnick, your Senator Bramnick, your buddy, yesterday, and I know it's actually great. I've been down there in the Assembly, I've been down there in the Senate, and I saw everybody, and Democrat, everybody. It's great, but it's so Democrat and so left-leaning now in New Jersey. Tell us about this information bill that it was passed in a bipartisan way in New Jersey. But you did not vote for this bill that I'm talking about, correct?
That's correct. I heard Senator Bramnick yesterday on your show. You know, I'm a listener. So, and he did outline some of the problems where people understood it to be one thing, and then all of a sudden something else became manifested in the bill, and then people got a little bit scared by it. I have, as a general rule, a skepticism for government, so I look at all these bills with a jaded eye. There's always some agenda being put forth in these bills, and it's not necessarily to the benefit of the public. So that is correct. I abstained, and I really wanted to vote no, but many of my colleagues were on the bill. I'm like, well, you know, I don't need to rub their face in it, so I'll just be polite and say this isn't something for me. Now, the notion of dealing with preconceived notions and advancing critical thinking, all those things are great, and who wouldn't want that? But, you know, the problem is people can share their thoughts very quickly over the Internet. You can throw up a couple of pictures and change somebody's perspective on something, even though it's not true. You can drive an agenda that way, and that's a problem, and we want to address that. But the problem here with this bill is that we're going to have a committee appointed by Democrats that control the Department of Education, and they're going to be the ones that go in with their biases and advance their biases on the students of the state, and that's not a good thing to be doing.
See, this resonates around the country, and as you listen around the country, Robert Auth is a great guy who actually does a great job in the Assembly in the great state of New Jersey. So this will affect, because all I keep hearing about is critical race theory and trans things and drag queen shows at libraries. This is really happening that I see front and center in our state. It's an information literacy law that goes into the education system, so the kids, in my opinion, could think along the lines of the Democratic Party. And forgive me if I'm wrong, because I like Governor Murphy, and I think you do too. He's a nice guy. Phil Murphy's a very nice guy. He's a gentleman, but they get obsessed with this mantra of this wokeness and this left-leaning mantra. Robert, this is not a great thing. You're going to go in. That means let's go 2 years ago. And this literacy law was, let's say, if it was in place in the New Jersey schools, and a teacher says, as has happened how many times, you know, this virus we think came from communist China out of the Wuhan Institute of Virology, and it went to Europe, it came back. Now is that teacher going to be shut down? When that teacher says men cannot have babies, when that teacher says there are two genders, do we have a problem in regards to this information literacy law?
Well, first of all, I'd give that teacher the Teacher of the Year award, but just between us. But hey, look, what you're saying and your concerns are correct, because 2 years ago or a year ago when they started this curriculum. The trans curriculum in the school system, and parents were getting upset. There were several state board members that were adamantly against it and voted against it. Well, then Governor Murphy just removed them from the board and replaced them with his own people and then put the agenda through. So you can see very easily if somebody has an agenda, they want to do this, they have a certain cohort of supporters that are promoting this, then it's very, very easy for them to do that, satisfy that cohort, and use their votes for campaigns currently and future campaigns. That's bad for the public. Good for the one candidate, but bad for the public.
Yeah, and I know we got to go, Assemblyman Auth, but what's happening with the liquor license? Governor Murphy's giving out liquor licenses now. Is that just, he's running for president when you're giving away liquor licenses? That's the hardest thing to get, huh? What do you think,
Joe? There's a serious problem. There's a lot of businesses that have bought liquor licenses that are a very expensive part of their operation. It's an actual asset to their operation, and if he does what he's suggesting, those people are going to lose actual assets of their business are going to be just given away. And if someone can buy a license for $1,000 and someone else paid $300,000 for it, how do you reconcile that with that other business owner?
Yeah, so true. Assemblyman, keep us posted, because this resonates around the country. We appreciate it. Thanks for your fine job in the 39th District there, Robert Auth, and we'll talk soon, my friend.
Thank you for the invitation today.
Thank you, Assemblyman. Thank you so much. Assemblyman Robert Auth.